God is such a good Father, isn't He? Is God a good Father to us? You know, a big part of loving the world, as God loves the world, is learning and appreciating God's creation. And so you saw Jack eating a scorpion. That's a local food in Thailand. It's awesome. Actually, I had a couple of those myself. We got to go and see Guazhou Falls, a beautiful part of God's creation in Brazil. Did a safari, as you saw there. We read the history of these nations. That's a big part of what God has been doing all through the world. It's His history, right? It's a story of His work in the world. We learn languages. This is, again, it's part of God's work and part of loving other nations. And as I mentioned before, we ate interesting cultural foods. Again, all part of loving the world as God loves the world. The second way that we love the world, we learned at least about loving the world, is through serving others in need. We had many different service experiences. We painted fences and did construction in Brazil. We delivered clothes to a poor village in Romania. God led us to teach English in Nepal through VBS. And Jack's going to describe a little something we did in Paraguay. Jack, can you tell us about a man who was impacted you in Paraguay? There's a picture here I think that shows us. Tell us about the work we did there and why that was important to you.
It was we did physical labor there, so it was mostly digging and putting up fence posts and gardening, and so I really liked that stuff. And so it's me digging a hole. And
how big were those holes?
They
were about this round in very hard dirt. And how deep? 4 feet?
4 feet deep and a few feet wide. So that was pretty deep, and that took a while.
And then tell about your friend Luis that you met there.
And I met this guy, and he's the head youth pastor and gardener, and he was cool because that's him right there, and he really liked when I helped him, and I really liked him. He was really nice, and so I did a bunch of gardening stuff with him. And that picture is of me. He had an idea of planting hope with seedlings. So we planted, we spilled out hope, and then we thought it was really cool because a few weeks later when we were on our trip, he said, he sent us that picture, and it was hope had bloomed, and so that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Also, in addition to manual labor, which was awesome, we had our shirts off, acting real manly out there, right? That was awesome. Muscles rippling, at least yours were. We also got to share the gospel. Can you tell about that a little bit? It's the next slide.
We did door-to-door evangelism, so it was kind of funny because we would walk up to people's houses and clap, and then they would come out of their door. So that was kind of weird, but we had this evangelism cube, and had the story of Jesus and stuff, and so they gave us it, and so we went around to different houses and shared the gospel with them. So we were 2 houses down, and my mom had said all of them, but then she looked at me and she was it's your turn. So then I got to share the gospel with them, and that was cool for me because that was the first time I actually got to do that right then.
That's awesome.
Awesome.